1944 brought no spring to Italy, only the long shadows of war. In the mountain village of Lograno, people woke to explosions instead of bells. A young radio operator named Alberto worked in the cold basement of the old town hall. His radio crackled softly like a tired heart still trying to beat. One morning he heard a strange enemy signal hidden in the static. It was a coded warning about an attack on his own village. The words were broken, but the threat was unmistakably clear. Alberto realized he had only a few hours left. He rushed to the transmitter, searching for allied frequencies. The antenna trembled as if it feared what it heard. The battery suddenly flashed red, its charge almost gone. There was no spare battery in the chaos of war. Alberto understood he could send only one final message. He faced a choice between duty and love. He opened a worn notebook where Anna's letter was kept. Anna was his fiancée, who had been waiting for him for 3 years. The village streets were silent yet full of unsaid terror. Alberto knew the village would perish without a warning. But he also feared Anna might never learn the truth. Inside him, duty collided painfully with feeling. He sat down and began to write her a letter. His hand shook, but his thoughts stayed sharp and clear. He decided to hide the coordinates inside lines of love. Every second word formed numbers, codes for the Allies. He wrote to Anna about a river bridge, but it mapped the enemy's route. He mentioned their windmill path, but it marked the strike point. His heart tightened, but his mind worked like a blade. Outside, he heard the rumble of enemy engines. The roar blended with radio static, forming a wave of panic. Alberto knew his time was nearly gone. He reread the letter, making sure no German would suspect it. The text looked tender but carried hidden precision. He switched on the transmitter and heard the empty breath of the airwaves. The battery would last no more than a minute. Anna, my love, if you hear these words. He transmitted each phrase slowly so the Allies could decode it. Every second beat like a final heartbeat. The battery flickered, fighting for its last breath. Alberto finished the line about the sunny field. It contained the main attack coordinates. The radio light suddenly went out. The basement fell into darkness, lit only by a faint window. Alberto did not know if the message went through. He did not know if anyone heard him, but he knew he had done everything possible. Meanwhile, the village prepared for the worst. Women hid children in deep stone cellars. Men of the resistance assembled their battered rifles. Dark silhouettes of German aircraft appeared in the sky. They were preparing to strike at dawn. But that evening the engine noise suddenly vanished. The village froze in eerie silence. Alberto stepped outside and saw strange lights on the horizon. They were not Germans, they were Allied signals. They knew they were coming. The Germans, losing their advantage, retreated in confusion. The village was saved. Exhaustion made Alberto stagger on his feet. He understood the Allies had saved hundreds of lives. But his letter had never reached Anna. After the battle, he began searching for her. He walked past ruined houses and burned fields. Each step was pain mixed with a fragile hope. Anna's house was empty. Only an old dog lay by the door, whining softly. On the table lay her scarf, but Anna herself was gone. Alberto realized she had been evacuated before the attack. He tried to follow her trail, but the front lines separated them. Time passed and the war consumed lives and cities. Alberto became a radio operator in an Allied brigade. He sent signals daily, but never again for himself. A year later, artillery struck his unit. His comrades found a small metal box beside him. Inside was a copy of that letter. He had carried it until his final breath. After Italy was liberated, the letter reached an Allied headquarters. A young intelligence officer opened it by chance. At first he thought it was a private love message, but some phrases felt strangely familiar. He used a decoding grid and saw coordinates appear. The cipher was brilliant, subtle, and precise. The officer understood this letter had stopped the attack. He stored it in the military archive with a short note. An unknown radio operator saved hundreds of lives. Decades later, the archive was opened to researchers. Among thousands of papers lay a yellowed, burned letter. At the bottom, hidden between lines of love, were the same numbers. That was how the world learned the radio operator's name, Alberto Martelli, the man whose last letter became salvation.